Happy whatever day it is to you, Transplant Helper community. I'm outside today because I'm enjoying a wonderfully beautiful day. As a matter of fact, here in Alabama right now, it's only 90 degrees. Am I saying only? Yeah, it's only 90 degrees compared to about 100 it was last week and the week before that. It's not quite as humid. There's a little bit of breeze going around, so it's just a wonderful day to be outside. And as you know, I'm kind of an outdoorsy person. At least I like spending time outside. I'm not big on hiking or anything. I don't have that energy, but anyway, I enjoy just sitting and relaxing. Sometimes I'm over here in the hammock behind me, sometimes up on the porch swing over this way, sometimes just kind of wandering through the woods here. I enjoy my outdoor time, and I'm glad that you are here with me today. Now, several of you have actually begun to notice I'm not putting out quite as many videos as I have in the past. I mentioned on a video I did do last week that I crossed kind of that 530 some odd video mark. I think this video here would be maybe 535, but I've actually began to slow down a bit from what was a long time practice of mine of at least putting out 1, 2, or even sometimes 3 videos per week. And honestly, I'm not planning on keeping up that type of a pace any longer. And there are several reasons for that. I thought it would be good if I sat down and just shared with you those reasons. There are about 5 of them that I've figured out, but I want to knock down with you the 5 top reasons why I'm not doing as many videos as I once did. We'll number them 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and of course 1 being the major reason, which honestly I haven't shared with you here on the program yet, but I did want to be honest, so we'll get down to the last one there, number 1, as we do. But counting it down, number 5, the 5th major reason I'm not committing to as many videos is honestly because of COVID. Not that I've had COVID personally. No one in my immediate family, or my unimmediate family for that matter, nobody's even kin to me that I know about has actually dealt with that, but I know that many have. And I'm going to be totally honest with you, just watching the whole COVID situation that's taking place worldwide, especially here in the United States, that within itself has taken away quite a bit from my videos and what I have outset to do. Mainly because it's just kind of a mind game, okay? Just looking and watching all these people struggling and suffering, at least what we're seeing in the media and such, knowing that so many people are consumed by the whole COVID thing, whether it's actually happening in their lives or they're just watching the lives of others, that within itself for me makes it difficult to put out videos. I don't know why, it's just a little frustrating. I know that the majority of people who are really concerned about this, and I think we should all be a bit concerned, but those who are really concerned about this, maybe some of you are that way. More than likely, if you're getting on YouTube or you're getting on the TV or wherever it is you find video sources or resources of news or entertainment, you're probably watching those videos and not a video like this. And that's fine. It's just made it a little bit more difficult for me personally to stay motivated to continue to put those videos out, because it's not really the main focus of the world right now of what I'm trying to do as far as just assisting that very small group of us who are transplant people. But if that's something that you've been missing out on, my apologies. I should have been more motivated, but to be honest, I just really haven't. Okay, so that's the 5th major reason I haven't put out as many videos. Reason number 4 comes down to the fact that because of the COVID situation, as I've told you before, my wife is actually working from home. So what I call my home office, my studio, that sort of thing, I can't actually get in there very often, pretty much most of the day. And because she's been in school full time getting a master's degree, and now she's actually happens to be on call this week with her job and just a lot going on, she kind of holds up that space, and so I can't get in there as often. And so because I normally lately have been doing most of my videos right here outside, it all depends on the weather, you know, whether it's raining, whether the sun is beaming hot and scorching hot or whatever, you know, that has a lot to do with whether or not I'm able to come out here, sit down and make a video. I don't have that dedicated space that I once did to just walk in the what I call the studio and shut the door and make a video and then go on about my day. It's a little bit different here, so that has kind of taken a toll on the number of videos I have made and have able to make at this current time. So that's affected me just a little bit, but nonetheless, there's yet another reason why I haven't made as many videos. It would be reason number 3, and that is recently my daughter has moved out and gone off to college. I have not anticipated this day, haven't looked forward to this day. You know, you watch your children grow up, and her being my oldest, she's 18 years old, finishing up high school under this difficult time that she did, finally going off to college. When she decided that it was finally time to move on and move out, to move the next phase of her life, you know, she's our first to do that. And so it's really taken a toll, not just emotionally, but we've been very busy, actually physically helping and assisting her to move, helping her with getting set up in her new apartment there at college, and then even back here, because I do have 5 children in my house. When one of them moves out, that means that we start moving and shifting bedrooms. I don't know if you've ever seen the old trick where they put the pee underneath the cup and then swap it around and move it around and ask someone to guess where the pee is and pop the lid off, you know, whatever. That's kind of how it feels around here. We're moving children from one bedroom to the next. One child's got the old bedroom she used to have, another child's got a newer bedroom to them. You know, it's been a lot of that. So that's kind of been a lot of cleanup, mainly which my wife has done. She's an organizer, but a little bit of painting and touch up and just moving of furniture. So slowly but surely we've been kind of doing that, and that's kept me very busy. And again, you know, just a little bit of that mental issue, the fact that my oldest, you know, my firstborn has gone off to college. That has kind of impacted the number of videos I've been making over the past few weeks, and probably will make, because we want to spend some extra time and effort continue to make a connection with her, even though she's separated from us by several miles. So yeah, that's been a little bit of it nonetheless. And then we come down to reason number 2, which is probably as much, if not more so, to me. I haven't made as many videos because I'm trying to spend all the time I can with my little children. You know, I appreciate my children, I love my children, but again, with my wife working at home, then being out of school for the summer, and now we've kind of got an indefinite unknown as to how we're going to work getting them back into public schools and how that's going to operate for them. Just been very, very busy with my younger children. Now, I've still got my 14-year-old son at home, now my 6, 5, and 4-year-old little girls, and many of them you oftentimes see on the videos. Either Ella or Libby are you know, big about getting out here playing, swinging on the hammock beside me, or even stepping up in the video with me. They're not out here right now, they're napping, but yeah, I've been trying to spend a little extra time with my children, at least be more conscious of the time I'm spending, because, you know, as I saw a video several years ago, I don't know if you've ever seen it, it's kind of a music video, don't know who did it, but it was circling around YouTube and Facebook and such. It's called 18 Summers with You, and it just explains that, you know, if you have a child, you got about 18 summers to spend with them, and then they're off, like my oldest daughter, off to college and such. So nonetheless, trying to spend some extra time with my children and trying to prioritize. It's just a personal thing I have to do, trying to prioritize, okay, do I want to, you know, go with my kids to the creek and enjoy a time, you know, hiking around in the woods, or swinging them on the swings, or sliding them down the slides here? Or do I want to sit down and make a video? I love making these videos. I love spending time with you. You're part of my family. But at the same time, when I make a choice between either you or them, it's going to be them each and every time. So that's had something to do with why I've not made as many videos. So these 5 counting down so far, then we have the fact that COVID has affected me. We have the fact that my wife is working from home. My daughter's moved off to college. I want to spend time with my children. And then reason number 1, and this is the primary reason, just to be totally honest with you, why I haven't made as many videos, and really probably won't for a little bit. It comes down to something I haven't really discussed much here lately, but it has to do with my own personal health. Now, I shared with you when I had my 7-year transplant anniversary, which has been a little bit over a month ago now, that there were some issues that were discovered as far as a thickening of the middle wall of my heart, that sort of thing. I won't go back into that, but some issues where I was having some, once again, some lightheadedness, some dizziness, some shortness of breath, some fatigue, all of that. And of course, there's been some investigation into that, where I haven't felt as good as I had hoped to at this point. Now, this is kind of one of those things where if you think about my 7 years post-transplant, I've certainly started out really, really strong way up here, kind of tapered down just a little bit over time, and then seemingly over the years have just digressed just a little bit. I'm not complaining about transplant. Wonderful, awesome, unbelievable, enormous gift, no doubt about it. I'm certainly blessed, but to be honest with you, I was probably a bit stronger right after transplant, within a few weeks, than I have ever been in my life, and I've kind of gone a little bit downhill from there. Now granted, it's a very, very slow, easy to move slope, but you know, that's just the way things have been. Hit some bumps in the road, some issues along the way, such as that one at the 7-year mark, has kind of affected me. Now, since that time, and I have not shared this with you, I've actually been back to the doctor a couple to 3 more times since then with issues somewhat related to it. Lately, the issue I haven't shared at all is I'm still dealing with some shortness of breath and some fatigue, so we want to get that checked out. But then I got to where I was kind of retaining some fluid. Mainly for me, like I was pre-transplant, it's kind of been some fluid in my belly. Capture a lot of fluid in my bellies, particularly by later in the day. Just a little bit of fluid maybe in my hands, feet, that sort of thing, and then also in my face. I've always held a lot of fluid in my face. And so I've actually had a couple of you comment on the videos and say, well, Jim, you look a little bloated or you look a little tired or whatever. Maybe I look like I've got, you know, bigger bags under my eyes or wrinkles on my face. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm older. When some of you started watching these videos, it's been years ago, you probably met me as a younger guy. I'm getting older. We all get older, and we get a little bit more wrinkly and ugly, or whatever you want to call it. I've never been that good looking to start with, but nonetheless, you know, I think I've digressed that way. But to be completely honest and you know, not to make a joke out of it, honestly, again, I've been retaining some fluid in my face, in my belly, and it's become problematic. There was a point a couple of weeks ago, my wife came in from work. She had actually, even though she's working from home, she had to go out in the field, as they call it, for several hours, 4 or 5 hours. She came in, the first thing she did when she walked in the door, she said, "What's wrong? You don't look good. You got this going on, that going on." And she said, "If you don't call your coordinator, I'll call her now." So I called my coordinator. They immediately got me in, made the appointment, got me in the next day or so, and checked me out. Did not find any issues. They went back and did the typical standard stuff, the blood work, the x-rays, the echocardiogram, the EKG. Didn't really find anything. They were threatening to do another heart cath, which I'd actually had just a month or so ago. They were threatening to repeat that, but decided not to, and basically come to the conclusion they're not sure why I'm retaining fluid. They said the issue doesn't seem to be my heart, which is obviously a very good thing. They're not exactly sure why I'm short of breath or overly fatigued or anything, so they said they just really wanted to check that out farther. So they've ordered a few tests, one of which was including a CT scan of my lungs. They wanted to just make sure my lungs were okay. I've shared with you before, I actually had a condition, or I don't know if you call it a fungus, I think it was, called cryptococcus several years ago, which do a lot of damage to the lungs when that's going on. They wanted to check out my lungs, make sure either I hadn't A, returned, or B, just left enough scar tissue to where that's problematic. So I actually did get the CT scan done. It was all clear. In addition to that, they've actually ordered another sleep study. I was diagnosed many years ago with sleep apnea, and they ordered another sleep study just to update that, to kind of eliminate that as being part of the issue, which happens to be, I know that it is. I have a lot of difficulties going to sleep, staying asleep. I do have the apnea. So I went ahead on my own, knowing the sleep study's up and coming, went ahead and broke out the CPAP machine, been wearing it the last several nights. I think that has helped a little bit as far as the amount of rest that I get, how good a quality that rest is, and then how that rest, how much energy I have throughout the day as far as overall fatigue or sleepiness goes. I think that has helped some. And then the last issue they're really concerned about, and I've come to the conclusion this is probably what is happening. They're still concerned about my liver. When they did the CT of my lungs, of course, they just kind of did a whole upper body CT, you know, from head to waist. And they said that on the CT scans, they could see some significant cirrhosis, which I knew I already had. Of course, won't know anything conclusively about that until I go back for sonograms of the liver specifically and the kidneys and such. But they do see that. They know that's there. I've known about that now for well over a year. But it was noticed, and I think symptomatically, when I say I felt rough, I should say, and be honest, I felt very rough the last few weeks. I think that's what we're coming down to. I think we're coming down to that cirrhosis. I think we're coming down to some issues with the liver, maybe being inflamed or whatever. That could account for the extreme fatigue I've been feeling. It could account for the shortness of breath to an extent, because probably there's some fluid that is building up, you know, because of the liver not functioning properly. It could account for a lot of things that I'm having, some aches, some pains, particularly shooting pains I'm having kind of from back to front where the liver is. You may not realize, but your liver is actually located right in this area just beneath the lungs. Could account for some of that. Could account for the fact that I've been pretty confused at times lately. When your liver's not doing its job, a certain level of toxins kind of build up, and that can hinder your memory, which I've been having trouble with. It can hinder, you know, just the overall fogginess of how you feel, which honestly I've been feeling that way. My eyesight has been more problematic. than it has in the past. The glasses that I typically would wear to read or whatever, they're just not doing what they should do. All again could be somewhat related to it. And the thing that has really got me convinced it's going to come down to my liver probably is the fact that the way I feel is so sporadic. I mean, I can wake up one morning and feel absolutely great, be wide open, thinking today is going to be the day when I can accomplish everything, and then in just a matter of minutes, just kaput. Energy gone, a lot of weakness, just like I say, overall fatigue, shortness of breath. A lot can come up really quickly, and then strangely enough, within a matter of several hours, not instantly, but within a matter of several hours, I can kind of go back to feeling okay. And so, again, I think these issues are going to come down to being liver related, and I'm just sharing that with you because I haven't shared that before. I haven't explained that to you, but to be completely honest with you, that's the number one reason I haven't made quite as many videos. I don't like sharing kind of the bad. I like to share things equally, obviously, on the channel, but I don't like telling you that I'm having trouble because I know that could bring some concern into someone else, that you may have trouble. Hey, we've all got different lives when it comes to the transplant life. There are ups, there are downs, there are good days, bad days. I make no bones about hiding that, although I don't like to share the bad so much, but I just haven't felt well. So, if you get to missing videos or get to thinking that he's quit, I'm not quit. I don't want to quit. I want to keep going. I still want to be a part of this community. I want to be able to, continue to, as I always say, advocate, educate, and motivate this community. But if I don't feel good, I don't feel good. And sometimes it's just a little bit hard to keep going and to keep pumping out videos or answering the comments like I do, replying to emails when I'm just wiped out. I'm back to sleeping a good bit, taking longer naps during the day. I'm not looking for sympathy by any means. I'm just saying this is what's happening. And I wanted to share that with you just a little bit. So keep me in your prayers if you don't mind. I'm not afraid of any of this. I just know that I want to feel better. I want to, be stronger. I want this to not be my permanent new normal. Although I know that we do have a new normal and we all have a different new normal, but I don't want this to be permanent for me. So I'm going to have to really work at this. Hopefully in the next week or so, I will be back in to see the liver. I call them liver doctors. There's a big old word that goes with them, but I will be back in to see them, and they'll give me some updated information and give me some more advice as to what to do. I know that my diet can impact it a lot, so staying away from fats and sugars and such, those are two of the top ones on the list I got to be more cautious with. But hopefully I can get straightened back out, and I don't think I'll ever go back to doing 3 videos a week or anything. Probably keep it at about 1. Unless you have some specific questions, I'm happy to help, but probably slow down anyway. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. So the top 5 reasons why I've not been making videos, the main one is I just don't feel good. Just don't feel real good right now. So keep me in your prayers, and I hope that each of you are doing great. If you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll help any way that I can, and I appreciate you watching this video, being concerned and compassionate about me, because I certainly care for each of you as well. Thank you so much for joining me today, and until next time, stay stronger, friends.